Hey. Good morning, good morning, good morning, or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to Sussex Saturday. I am VS Speaks Royally. How is everybody? Hello, hello, hello to everyone, to the channel members. Thank you for your continued support each month. And for everybody else that's in the chat, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us and the engagement, even those in the clouds and those that are the haters. Thank you always for the engagement. Yes. So how is everybody? What a week, what a week, what a week. Now, we all were planning to, have a quiet week, I think, and then lead into, January 10th. We all know that's the day that the book drops. But then this happens. The leaks started. Drip, drip, drip. So I would say, because I think they said it's from Spain, what a bookstore or whoever put it on sale or released it. You wouldn't get any more if there's any other books that were to follow. That country would get a blackout. So we know that probably a certain media in a certain country probably paid big bucks for that. So as it was stated in the chat, what was meant for the bad and to really tarnish, it's not turning out that way. You're actually, by doing all these drips and leaks and everything else, you're even confirming all conversations, any interviews that Meghan or Harry have had since they've been together. So yeah, it has been quite interesting this week. So before I get started, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. And just to kind of reset me a little bit, I'll read my favorite quote that I love from them. Each of us can change our communities. All of us can change the world. Now, let me mention quickly, Live to Lead. I had intended on discussing, but given the situation and the drips that have come with regard to Spare, the book, Harry's memoir, if you have been living under a rock, you may not realize that's what we're going to be discussing. And at the time, there were only 2 interviews that I know of, and now there have several more, 4 in total that I'm aware of. And there could be some others that could have popped up along the way, but Live to Lead is on Netflix. Please go out there. I have been told over and over, I've gotten just partly through the first. Have your box of tissues. It's very enlightening, encouraging, empowering, and it can rip your heart out too. So just be prepared. Excuse the papers in the back here. Let me see. I love this picture of Meghan that's taken from the Netflix that Live to Lead. So Harry and Meghan, the docuseries. We thought that caused a lot of kerfuffle. That's a word that likes to be thrown onto YouTube a lot. A lot of the kerfuffle. Well, we had no clue that the Spare was going to just make heads, the top of them blow off. So we hoped Harry would be truthful, and we have to take the leaks and just kind of sit them to the side a little bit, because until we have the book in our hand and we can read the full text and get the full context, yeah, you know how the media, especially in the UK, like to spin things. But anyway, I'm going to move on. Christopher Boozy, since Netflix released Harry and Meghan episode 5, our 3rd report outlining the coordinated hate campaign targeting Meghan Markle and her family was downloaded over 1.5 million times. So he was in the docuseries. If you didn't watch the whole thing, I'm just saying. So I thought this was an amazing stat, and it's great stat also that people are taking pause that never had eyes on Harry or Meghan and are like, oh, they were really putting her through hell. Heck yeah. So, and that is coordinated. All right. Let me just look at the comments really quickly, and then I'll jump into my little convo that I wanted to get into with the Spare. Let's see. Hello. Let's see. Oh yeah, Lydia, you had asked Black Queen a question on the number aspect. Lydia, hello dear. War is a devastating phenomenon. It's inhumane when lives are lost. However, Harry was not bragging. He was just letting it be known that he accomplished a mission for his country. Correct. Also, there have been others that have, it's not taunting your number. It's just saying, this is what I had to do. truly to survive, but also as part of battle. Lives are lost in war. Those that I feel don't talk about it, and while it's very personal, that can eat at you, knowing that whole aspect. But yeah. Scratch and Pete, what's up? Let's see, Lottie, don't you see how the British media is picking the book apart? They're taking certain parts of it to make it look bad. And the sales have increased in the UK for pre-orders. So they're helping him sell books. I do want to give a little shout out to the ladies of The View. Please do a little research. Have your producer do a little research. When this book was announced, it was stated that he was donating the proceeds. So, Joy, while you're all up in arms over the amount of money he's been paid, I have to watch my language now. YouTube is getting on channels, gaming or not, that have excessive cursing. So, my Twisted Thursday went into yellow mode. So it's it's limited because, I was cutting up in that one. So I'm going to behave in this one and just say, Joy, take the stick out your butt. Okay. Marshar, yes, drip, drip, drip. It's a hot mess. I think we all paused because it was like, wait a minute, who got the book? The book isn't out yet. And then it's like, oh, Lord, someone released it. They couldn't even wait. Jesus, couldn't even wait. But it's fine. His interviews were already done and scheduled, and they have those, everybody's ready for that. And we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, we're all going to be just sitting on our front porch with our cup of coffee, waiting for that FedEx truck to pull up. Hey, Hilda. Feel better, sis. I see you. Black Queen, the leaks will work out in Harry and Meghan's favor. Now Harry's interview will debunk and set the record straight. Right. So we have to hear the whole interview because just the pieces of the clips, you remember with the Oprah one, we were like, and then we heard it and we still were like, but we got a greater context of what was being said and why they released those certain ones. So let me see, Valerie. British media are upset because people are getting dragged. Well, they deserve to be dragged. The British media deserves to be dragged. The spotlight is now on you. You always wanted the spotlight. You got the spotlight. Let me see, Joan. No matter what Harry or Meghan say or don't say, the horrible British press always twists words negatively. And as of April 2020, they are not even supposed to be reporting on Harry and Meghan because they're irrelevant per all of the roto. That's what they were all out there tweeting and acting a fool over. And here we are almost 3 years later and they're still carrying on. So, if the royal family had have stepped up, protected Meghan, told them to back off, especially when she was pregnant. But now we understand that, they were doing all they could to bust up the wedding before it happened, then to really try to get the marriage undone. Of course, thankfully, she got pregnant quickly. Their plan. And then it was trying to do what they could, my opinion, to that she would lose that first pregnancy because she was doing tours. She was 7 months and they went to Morocco. Come on now. But let's see. King David killed a lot of people in battle and God still loved him very much. War is not a country club situation, and people know this. Many countries were involved in the war over there. I think there was even a movie by one of the U.S. snipers who he recounted his number. Please, it's all hyperbole. They're just really trying to get on Harry, but he already knows their game plan. He grew up with that and knows the game plan. Marshar, my sister first thought Harry and Meghan were doing stuff as a publicity stunt. She says she only cared about our country until she watched the docu-series. Her tone has changed about Harry and Meghan. She's getting the book. It's them telling their story, their love story, their life, and the hell they have been through. See, hell is allowed. Um, you know, death threats. There's people that have been locked up for even threatening Harry, but you take his security, then you release their location. Thank you, Tyler Perry, again. Because whenever I see that, and Harry's, talking about we're on the freedom flight, although there's a smile, there is sadness behind that also. Yeah. 13 suitcases, and they got on a plane, the dogs and everything, and got the heck out of what should have been a safe haven, part of the Commonwealth. So, all right, let me move on because I'm going to get kind of lost. Yeah, CNN has been doing little segments here and there. Last night, Anderson Cooper kind of highlighted some things, and then I heard a British accent, and I don't know which person it was because I didn't bother to look up. But yeah. Oh, our books are all dropping on our laps Tuesday. Yes, we're going to be on our porches. I know I'll be waiting. I will be waiting. Rhonda, they aren't concerned about the money the liars make. No. I mean, I hope it works out for them because once this is out, he's like someone said on Twitter, I saw Harry and Meghan are playing like 3D chess while the UK media and the royal family are playing checkers in an old school form of it. Yeah. Never would have caught up to this. Jan, the British media as well as the Armed Royals did everything they could to silence Diana and make her seem as if she was unbalanced. They will not be able to do the same to Prince Harry. And they really can't if we don't allow them to rewrite Diana's narrative. As Harry said in the docuseries, although we realize that she may have been tricked into doing the interview, truly she spoke her truth. And then there's video to back that up. I mean, even Tyler, when he talks about how seeing the images back then with Diana, I mean, going through an airport and then hear the paparazzi jumping into the elevator and the little security that was able to help her at the airport is telling them to get out and she's yelling. Yeah, okay. And I remember when they said she didn't want the security. Well, we, being the general public, and even over here, took them at their word. But now we see that wasn't her choice. And oh, what you got away with then, don't think that you will this time around. Okay. All right, let me stop. Let me get into this. All right. What is this? Black Queen Diana? Princess Diana is serving karma from the grave. Way to go, Harry. Avenge your beloved mummy. Yeah. He is his mother's son. Okay, I'm just going to say it like that. Don't lose their minds. Okay, so we know the Spare is dropping January 10th. Interviews I would have expected. Who he sat down with was a surprise to me. Don't know why, but it was. And then each of them seemed to be competing with the other. I don't know if Tom, what is his name, Bramberry, had any say over the clips or how it was edited. But yeah, it's just kind of weird. Of course, Omid, who is a Rhoda, came out. And this was the first tweet. I was like, The Guardian. Wait a minute. Didn't Harry say something about The Guardian? Wasn't a tabloid, but now they're in the tabloid corner to me. But, it's about the money. Got to make that money. So I did like how he said The Guardian have obtained a copy of Prince Harry's Spare, not through official channels. Like, didn't wait until it was released, ahead of the Tuesday launch. So Sunday, tomorrow, 60 Minutes will air. So Anderson Cooper is first up. I think this may be running, well, I don't know. Let me see. UK is 5 hours ahead of us, right? Or 6 hours, somewhere in there. I think the ITV is running around the same time. Maybe not. But it should be a good interview. finally to see it in its full and in entirety, to get, just what the clips were saying, and really to hear all of the questions in succession of how they're asked versus a little clip here and a little clip there. So I was like, oh, okay, 60 minutes. Tick, 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 tick. Yes. Let me see. Then it was reported, Good Morning America, Michael Strahan, former Giants player, uh, will be interviewing him, or has interviewed him, and that will air on Monday. So we have a lot of DVRing to do, especially, depending on what time zone you're in. Hopefully you're able to see it. I believe there's streaming available for each of these channels, CBS, ABC. I don't think he did anything with NBC. Well, he may have, because let me kind of hold off on that, because the next interview might be. But it's just different snippets. Michael Strahan has stated, and I, just how it's the book is really, really good. So I'm looking forward to getting my own copy. Yes, and then I'll have one to give away. Yes. See, he's saying he's not holding back, not holding anything back. So that's a good thing. I'm not sure why they thought he would. And remember, this book was already being printed when the time his grandmother passed away. And I believe there was all these stories. Oh, he's rushing to have it rewritten and all this other stuff. I doubt it. Unless it was, the foreword that they put in there. But I'm sure Meghan, hopefully she wrote that. I shouldn't assume that she wrote that. But now, so you have 60 Minutes, you have Good Morning America, you have the ITV, which I don't have any screenshots of, but there's the ITV, it's on the thumbnail, interview. And then we have this interview, The Late Show. Prince Harry will be on there with Stephen, which should be a good interview for an exclusive late night interview. And so that will be Tuesday night. So make sure you have DVRs for all these different programs, because now I need to go and set the DVR, and that way I can watch them. You know how we do. Watch them, pause, gasp, if we have to run out of the room, come back, watch it again. Yeah, that whole thing. And we're just going to watch as Harry and Meghan walk off into the sunset, and the crazies and the haters and all that has been coming at them just gets eviscerated. Mm-hmm. All right, let me jump into the comments before I get to the favorite time. I know it seems like trash time, but I officially will have the trash time. Ooh, my sharps. Yep. Hey, the Bud Files, how are you? Y'all, I get to yapping, and I'm just saying, you know how that is. Valerie, the ancestors are young again, and they are going to fight. Yes. Valerie, the skewer was taken from Diana. Yes, but when it was first announced, it was, or when it was all told to us. Recollections may vary, but they did say that she did not want the security. And of course, she was not able to come out and say, no, you took it from me. Like you took the HRH. Like that was really going to hurt Diana's feelings. She's always going to be part of the family. I still want to know if the royal family fixed Archie's birth certificate yet. I really do. Putting Meghan's name back on there as the mother. Okay. Because nothing they say or do. Okay. I will say this. Space better be glad that Harry is trained in controlling his actions and temper and all that, because I think he would have beat him into a pulp. That's just my opinion. Because when you look at him doing that obstacle course on James Y'all know who I'm talking about on that show. And when Harry went through the mud pit and didn't have like any mud down the front of his shirt and climbed that rope, Harry has strength. Yeah. Will is bald. Okay. Beverly, Prince Harry is giving his testimony in a book form, and he's not holding back from his childhood to manhood. Whatever he went through, he is retelling it instead of the press making money off of his. Yes. They've made their money. All the books that have been printed, unauthorized books, or given the nod from the palace. Yeah, go ahead and write that book. Come on. Come on. Let's get real. And then all upset and in a tizzy, and they want him to be silent. Why? Just like he told Diana to be silent. This is a different time and age. Different time and age. Let's see. Jennifer Smith, Benjamin, also a CNN news reporter this morning, that too much private information is being said. Well, mind you, if you all are talking about the frostbite, and I'll just say it like that, I've seen the tweets referencing that, and I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. We all have to read the story, and mind you, he did one of the walks with, what was it, the Wounded Warriors to the North Pole. Yeah, I think he may have done that more than once. But if this was during the time when was in war, I mean, that's not some fanciful summer retreat. I'm just gonna put it like that. Valley ITV is about 8 p.m. Okay. One shouldn't be clashing with the other, but we'll all have to gather together and share notes, Valerie. Hiwi, how are you? Black Queen, you're so right. The people will buy just because the hateful British media can't stop talking about the book. They help them with free PR. They can't help themselves. Let me see, Churchill. These damn trolls are working my nerve. Why? Who is in the chat? Is there are there trolls in the chat? You guys know how to whop them. You can get them out. Let me see. Meghan's name on the marriage certificate is Princess Rachel Meghan Mountbatten. And her name on Archie's birth certificate needs to go back saying the same thing, because I think that's what it was as far as her occupation or something like that. But they need to put her name back on the title, and that's all that comes down to. There's a Sky correspondent station in Montecito. Nutty doctor, let me tell you something. Good luck with that. I guess they're expecting to see people walk around with the book in their hand and then stop them. So, how do you think about the book? And then they're like, oh, we hate it. Yeah, no. People in Montecito, they're not talking to strangers for one, but yeah, just off the cuff. They know there's a lot of people in the vicinity that like their privacy, put it that way. Hey, squaddies from sunny San Francisco. I'm feeling the love for Prince Harry and Meghan. Yay. Oh, let me tell you. Hey, life's magical journey. Hello to everybody that has come in since I've been going on and on and on. I do apologize. Let me see. How far back? Okay, only 2 minutes. Marshall, Harry said that in the last 2 years, he felt his mom around him. Diana will protect and guide him. Wrong things will be made right, and Harry will make sure that happens for the future kids. Exactly. They're going to learn to leave Harry, Meghan, their children, and especially Queen Doria alone. Anna, how are you? Okay, wait a minute. Gwendolyn, ITV, 9 p.m. British time. Okay, 9 p.m. British time. What is that, like 3 something our time? I don't know what the time difference is especially on the East Coast, once we changed here. Valerie, know her name on the certificate says Meghan, occupation, the Princess of the United. Yeah. here, according to the little snippet, Harry and the other brother wanted to open up the investigation about his mother's death, but were denied. They are covering up something. We all can put our heads together and figure out very quickly what they may be covering up. I do remember an old interview of Harry where he said there were paps that were there taking pictures instead of calling for help, and then trying to sell those pictures and or video of her in the back of that car. And she was alive for a period of time. So he knows, because he says he keeps a little journal. Yeah, folks need to be. Joyce, PTSD is real, people. It is. I just don't get the whole he can't talk about his life, but everyone else that doesn't really know his life and is taking it from sources. The palaces are the sources, because if people work there and tell you, then the comms team, that's the palaces that are the sources. Okay, let me get into trash time. Annie, what is this? Annie, I hope you're mixing up some good drinks as the squad bartender, because, yeah, we're going to need them. The bottom line now is that Shutter Island has nothing to hold over Harry's head, no blackmail, period. They also stopped, this also stopped them from pushing other books or lies of him/them. Yes. I said it on Twitter. So, there's this truth about the drugs that he used. Even in the docu-series, he had said there's some truths there, but there's some embellishments also. So he's indicated what he's used, but we have to remember when we were younger in that age, and some of us really got down with the get down. Okay. But he was also dealing with grief that he had no one to talk to. And his great grandmother and his grandmother patting him on the head. Oh boy, it'll be okay. No. Dad was too busy relishing in how quickly he could marry the mistress. And so I will take my hats off to QE2 for making him wait as long as she did. Okay. Let me see. We will see the ITV interview in the US first, and then Anderson Cooper. The ITV will require VPN to stream and watch. Oh, I've got all that. Oh, yes, I have all that. Hey, Connie, how are you? Good to see you. Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks. Let me see. Sylvia, hey, Lydia, how are you doing? Please, we have to continue to give Steve Schmidt credit for the 2 articles he wrote defending Harry and Meghan. Steve is who I wanted to reach out to early this year. See, I remember Steve Schmidt way back with in the political sphere. So while I'm glad he is out there rallying for Harry and Meghan, I give him the side eye. Just saying. Let me see. I thought I saw Connie, don't worry about it. All right. Listen, y'all, life goes on. You have things you have to do. Some can listen while they're driving, or some will listen on replay, and some are in the live stream chatting it up. Whatever, it's your heart. I appreciate it. Thank you. Don't feel bad. Do not ever feel bad. Let me see. Benjamin, the establishment doesn't get that this is a new way this generation communicates. They are looking towards the future. And you're right, Annie. We all have a past. Now, would those Rhodas really like to have their past dredged up, or even their current situations? Because by the looks of all of them, they're living some very rough lives. Just going to say. Church Nelly, yes, listening while drinking. Okay. I'm having my tea, second cup of tea. So I'll just take a sip. Okay, Lydia, a view is a view regardless. We can't make all the chats in real time. Exactly. Engagement is engagement. That's what I tell the haters. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for your comment. Thanks. Not everybody wants to, and then there's some people that hang out as what I call the space station, and that's cool. They're supporting, even if they don't drop down in the chat, and that is cool with me. Thank you. Whether you like me or not. Whether you like the content or not. Okay. Yeah. I'm not even going to discuss that one, Joyce. We know who was being fought in Afghanistan. Most people should know. Hey, Rochelle. And we know many of us can go pull up old headlines of what the Rhoda wrote then to what they're writing now. And let us remind them that when a member of the royal family kicked off a cookbook with victims of the Grenfell Towers, that kitchen was declared, although it was opened by the king and his heir, and they had both visited that kitchen like a year or two prior. But when a certain royal family member, for her first, I guess you can say, official event, and then that kitchen suddenly was tied to the same group that they are now saying that they support. Come on now. All right. Let me go on and hit this thing because we're jumping into it and you already know it's getting ready to go down. It's your favorite time. Trash time. Trash time. Trash time. Okay, so I'm going to woo-saw. I'm going to try to remember to contain myself. Some of this is in order and some of it's all over the place. Hopefully I can kind of piece it all together. Woo, but all right. So we know that from the docuseries there was Curtsygate. And it was said so eloquently by SQUADDIE on Twitter. You know, you might have an idea of what a curtsy is. You might do a curtsy, especially Americans. That's not something we're doing every day, so okay. But who knows what a curtsy is supposed to look like in front of the Queen? I mean, even Harry can't even help with that because he just bows his head. But there were so many that were like, oh my gosh, she's mocking our culture. Mocking? No, she was showing you what she did initially. Because the curtsy she did for her funeral, for the Queen's funeral, that she's got to perfect it. None of y'all gonna touch that. Okay. And it should be over and said and done. Y'all tried your best. It's just amazing with archetypes. They always are nitpicking and finding little things and trying to make it something bad. Then the docuseries drops and it's the same thing. Like, this is the thing they're upset about. They're not upset about all the history that was laid out. You know, how you can go into any of the castles, palaces, any of the upper echelons homes, and you're going to see pictures and or remnants of, you know, statues or whatever of slaves and people being stepped on and bowing down and doing all kinds of stuff. So anyway, on your outrage, it's selective outrage, just to sell your papers. But this, she was just mocking, you know. Even Harry said, well, how do you explain that? And especially someone that's American. Exactly. Tell your girlfriend, oh, you got to curtsy to my grandmother. Come on now. Whew. Anyway, so this tweet was out. Yes, this was a while ago. This was in 2019. I believe that's 2019. So they wanted to know why there was such a media blackout on Space and his shenanigans with the roses and pegs and everything else. But time is going to time is coming for him one day. All his stuff was going to come out. See, Charles used them as shields, hoping to offhead that, his shenanigans with his current wife. And then, that certain tape got leaked. And I'm not even going to say it. We all know the tape. It made history. So, Mail on Sunday or Mail Online or whatever the heck their name is, Harry and William's relationship hangs by a thread as the Prince of Wales keeps leaking stories about the Duke of Sussex, and King Charles begs Harry not to trust mistress turned Queen Camilla, who made his mom's life miserable. Now, this is hard to believe that this is really a headline. I don't go out. I don't give them a click. I just see the screenshot and snag it. So, some of the squad are very, very eloquent in how they do things. But it could be. I don't know. Yes, the relationship hangs by a thread. That is a truth. But, Prince Harry suggests he won't attend coronation unless families sit down and talk. Oh, there needs to be like a public apology to him and Meghan, and then shut the media down. Now, if you had nothing to hide and there was no skeletons and pegs and all that stuff ready to fall out of your closet, you wouldn't care what the media said about you. I mean, to have to be shown in a perfect light, that plays on the head, and no wonder he's crazy rage man. Yeah. Striking out at people. Now, Emu, and y'all know why I call her Emu if you've been in the squad for a while, Emu tweeted out, she don't know when to keep herself quiet either. Harry has some valid points, but he ignores one very obvious and well-known sources of stories. Tabloids pay big money for exclusive info like Megxit. As public officials, press secretaries / palace staff are not allowed to be paid. So briefings, yes, original sources, no. Oh, so y'all pay folks for the stories. I like how she says for exclusive interview. No, for leaks. And are you really getting the truth? Although you twist things, and now Emu did this whole thing on a couple of things about Meghan. The baby shower was one, when she had the wrong date. There was everything she described of that baby shower wasn't even what we saw in the pictures that were released. And you can see some of the pictures in the docuseries. And then it was the commandments thing when they were out at Frogmore Cottage, and supposedly there were these commandments that had been released that Meghan didn't want people to do these 10 things, and that was a bunch of malarkey. But Emu went out and put it in her full chest and all that, so she will always be called that. Y'all know why. Then there was a conversation under that tweet of hers. So royalty. Some people forget, either Emu forgot this was the burner account, but you're talking to supposed stranger as if you know them so well. I really have to wonder, like, we had speculations on that royalty account that have been cleared up perfectly. So thank you for being idiots and going under your burners and then having these conversations that little old normal public she wouldn't respond to. Yeah. But Harry has you better believe he has the receipts. Hence why most of you are very, very quiet, because you know. I bet you Shillings is over there like this. Page 1, page 2 of the complaint. Yes. They're ready for y'all. Bring it on. Oh, and let me, while I'm yabbering on, but while I'm saying that, let me just say, do you remember when the book was announced and it said that the legal checks had already been completed? Because I remember seeing that and reading that. And if you think Harry was ever going to put a book out that didn't go through all the processes because he knows how his family and the media are over there, yeah. All his ducks are in a row. Okay. So we have where he's telling it all, y'all. See, cosplay, you should have been woman enough to correct the story in the beginning, but you went along for the ride to get all the glory, I guess, and to look like the patron saint of bones. I mean, yeah, that's basically what it's all about. So cosplay is the one that made Meghan cry the week of the wedding. Now, there's a whole lot that was going on between her father's crap and then, not coming, an alleged heart attack. Mm-hmm. Somebody that might have seen the Lord, you would think that he would have repented for his ways, but yeah, okay. Just my opinion. Okay, so acknowledging there was a disagreement, he says, just Kate demanded that Meghan have the ill-fitted dresses completely remade. So the bridesmaids' dresses, what the little girls were wearing, she wanted them remade. Ill-fitting. I thought they were cute. But it ain't your wedding. So sit down in the corner and shut the blank up. Okay. But you had to be a wannabe, I guess, bridezilla. But you had to be a Karen. At least your name, the nickname starts with the same letter. But have those dresses completely remade 4 days before the wedding, and initially refused to take Charlotte to see the Duchess's tailor for adjustments, even though he had been waiting since 8 a.m. So you were truly Karen. First, you're upset. You don't like the bridesmaid dress, but it's not your choice. I guess you're used to dictating to everybody. And they just say, oh, yes, Mom. Yes, Mom. Yes, Your Highness, or whatever they call you. But yeah, not good. Because for 6 years now, the rumor of her, Meghan, making cosplay cry has just been all in the headlines. We all have those receipts. So if you try to rewrite the narrative, you remember the recollections may vary. Mm-hmm. Trying to say Meghan is the bully. It seems to me that Meghan was fighting back in a lot of situations, like we Americans will do. Okay. So, truth will come out eventually. Now, this is a parody account on Twitter, just so that you get the idea. I just have to always state it's a parody if you see it. And it says, I'm pissed that my fans and tabloid friends didn't even know this Earthshot book existed, but they were the first to pre-order Harry's. And so there's this Earthshot, and it says How to Save the Planet, and it just says the foreword was by him, space. But again, there's so much on. I didn't even go to look to see if it really was a book. I just chuckled and was like, oh, what a good parody. That was hitting right on time. But, Mr. Violent needs to go sit his behind somewhere on a hot poker. He probably will love it. I don't get the whole gist of people saying, did Harry say something to provoke William to put his hands on him? I've seen that all over. I guess that's what the bots are programmed to say. Well, what did he do? What did he say? This is why domestic violence is rarely reported. And when it is, if that's your first question, or when a very violent sexual act occurs, usually men doing it to a woman, and then that woman doesn't report it, but when she steps forward to, well, what were you wearing, and what did you say, or what did you do, or did you give? There should not be questions behind that. How can I help you? It should be the only question that should be asked. But did Harry say something? No, it was space in his entitlement, wanting whatever Harry had. And that is what I feel in my gut. Hmm. And Harry told him where to go. And then the fight. And I've seen, I think it's on Stephen Colbert, I'm not sure, but someone has done a parody of the two princes, and they actually have the two dressed as Prince the artist going at it, and they reenact that scene that was outlined in Harry's book. So yeah, I saw that on CNN this morning. Lovely. But yeah, what did Harry do? So I don't know if you remember reports back several years ago. And I'll just put it up. Friends have reportedly stopped inviting Meghan and Harry to dinner parties as they frown upon their PDA. She insists on sitting next to him. Now it's coming out that, at the reception, now mind you, there's a way to ask or shift seats. If your place setting is that you're sitting next to your spouse and you're having a hissy fit, there's a little problem. I don't get the aristo circles that feel at dinner, like dinner parties. You don't sit next to your spouse. That's how stuff happens between people. They sitting across the table, yapping it up with Rose, and then the proposition comes, allegedly. I'm just, going off. Let people sit next to their spouse if they want to. Half you bad teeth looking mother truckers don't need to be in nobody's face wanting to talk to them. Okay. So I guess there was some rule. There is a rule out there. I don't get the first rule happens to be about pronouncing it French way at all times. This means pronouncing it with all three syllables, emphasis, lest they sound common or worse, American. See, y'all have a problem with Americans. Because we, I guess we're the first to fight back. I don't know. And told y'all to go kick rocks and censorships back overseas. It's just weird. Like, who's saying that they're all hugged up and kissed up at dinner time? I'm sure they eat. And the funny thing is, when they visited the military base in New Jersey, they sat separately. The shock. And had individual conversations at each of the tables. So they can sit separately. But you darn vipers trying to set situations up. Mm-hmm. Then you can write about it. Ooh, they talked a little too much. Did you see that one? Mm-hmm. Please. Now, I take a deep breath on this. I need the consort and cosplay to stop dressing like Meghan. Stop it. It's creepy as hell. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Okay. Now this is, a powerful nod. This is not a nod. This is the middle finger. I guess that's the powerful nod that you're speaking of. So consort steps out for New Year's Day with powerful nod to Meghan in outfit. The jacket, the boots, the purse. That's a middle finger, especially given that she had dinner with her buddies days before that disgusting op-ed was released. And then one she had, with celebrating them and giving them prizes and all that fun stuff that is given away to the media, the invisible contract that's very visible. Yeah. Y'all can dress like her, but you sure don't look like her. You never will be her. And focus on your husbands, you in cosplay, the consort and cosplay. Focus on your husbands. Squatting is like to get in. Now this one made me laugh because he didn't sing the national anthem. What? Edward not sing the national anthem? I'm sure he just paused just because he was just so emotional, like, wow, my brother's king now. I'm sure that's why he paused and didn't open his mouth and sing. I guess he forgot there's cameras everywhere. But I just thought that was a little funny moment to share. And back in August, I don't even know if I saw this headline. So when Archetypes had been released, this was like the first headline of eyelashes. The more Meghan Markle speaks, the less anyone wants to listen. It's so obvious how much y'all dislike her. Her new Spotify podcast, Archetype, epitomizes the law of diminishing returns. Really? You always have, like, the excrement comes back to them, slaps them dead in their face as soon as they put something out. That it just makes no sense. It seems like you would have waited until the end of the series to even write anything, because you need to hear each one. And there may be a story that's threading through. What you didn't do to bury her, you forgot that she was a seed. Okay, I'm going to jump now into the comments and then hang out with y'all for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to have to go. I think I've had a little too much time, too much fun with trash time. Y'all let me get to going, so I'm just, of course, I'm not looking at comments, so that doesn't help. If you're like, no, don't do that, don't say that. Okay, and you hear Kuja in the back too. All right. I'm just jumping in. Understand, I've skipped a lot of comments. I hope you understand. Charge the eyes, not the heart, but we would be here probably until 4 or 5 o'clock if I was going through all the comments. So, and I get lost in the comments. Annie, Megan did the kind of curtsy that I did at Easter time back in the day when I had to give my Easter speech. Okay. As everybody's clapping for you at church and then you bow, yeah, you curtsy. Let me see. Black Queen Lydia, I know, right? Surprised Nelly still have a functional liver. Woof. Church Nelly. And I swear, if I bend over in one knee, better get some money for. Ooh. Excuse me. June Garcia, Catherine Bird. Someone leaked a clip of Harry saying he was too impressed with Meghan's food the first time he has ever tasted flavors. Oh, I laugh about. I can't wait to read that in the book. I really can't wait to read, because allegedly it was like his mouth didn't know what to do from seasoned food. Now, you remember during the Success Squad podcast, Tina and Michelle used to joke about that. I swear to God. The truths that those ladies spoke, and it's all coming to fruition for all of us to see, because there were even naysayers in Squad and that were really going after, especially Tina, because she was the one on social media. So it's kind of gratifying to see that, what she had said back then is true. Joyce, I'm in Cali. Does anyone on the West Coast know what time? Oh, you're looking for 60 minutes or all the interviews? Yeah. I would say go and look and just kind of sum it up. And somebody might have answered in the chat. Hey, I love Nikki. Those old hags on The View are just mad because Harry and Meghan won't give them the time of day. They don't deserve to have an interview. Now, I would love if Harry, came on here. to VS Speaks Royally, and for Sussex Saturday gave us, maybe 30 minutes that we could chat it up with him about the book. Yes. I would love that. I'm putting that out in the atmosphere. Okay. Because stranger things can happen. Benjamin, that's why I'm not in support of coronation. He has to bow to the couple who made his mother's life hell and his own life hell. Yes. Okay. Let's not forget. Not once has Charles adhered to, go off to school and the media will leave you alone, and then the media hounds him. Not once has he stepped up to protect Harry's wife. Said, back off. I mean, the fact that Buckingham Palace released a statement by QE2 at the time asking the media to back off the Prime Minister's then girlfriend who was knocked up, but never for Meghan, speaks volumes. Although I do believe that the two men were running things and really only the second in line or the first in line right now because he's just waiting for his dad to kick the bucket. Okay. Kids and cookies and cream. Prince Harry should do as many interviews that he possibly can. He needs to keep telling it. All those racist cretins need to be exposed. Oh, they have been. They have been. Catherine Joan, Meghan gave Harry seasoned food in more ways than one. What you talking about, Catherine? Okay. Woo. Hey, Spotimus, how are you? Joyce, if he does a book tour, we all are going to be like first in line wherever the bookstore is. Wear your Depends, folks. Don't get out of line because it will be battles to get back to your spot, or have somebody that you can, I need to go, you watch my spot, and then, that type of thing. But yeah, that would be awesome if he did a book tour. Hopefully Michelle Obama has, put him in contact with the people that handled hers, and make a big production, and we'll be there. We will be there. Let him come on into North Carolina. Close by North Carolina. Woo! That would be awesome. And I just want Ace to drop the bomb already. Just drop it, dude. You have so many people behind you. The leaks bothered me, but that was bound to happen. Enough money is dropped in someone's lap, and it's like, oops, did I do that? But you should all be, if there's anything else in the future, that country should really be, I'm just saying the country as a whole locked out. Just, we can't trust that you will adhere to the rules. Catherine Little, it is true. Meghan is a good woman. Let me tell you something. Benjamin, it's an American approach akin to a reconciliation commission of sorts, but family style and intervention. It won't work with British upper class mentality, especially. Harry knows that. Exactly. Well, remember, there's been so many headlines right before Philip's funeral, I believe, about the olive branch, and then, I'm being extended by Charles, which we knew was a bunch of malarkey. Why do you have to tell the press when it should be behind scenes? So it was probably Harry trying to do that, because as we know, they take what happens privately and then leak it out, and then it gets changed. Yeah. Cowboys pay big for the lies. The joke's on them. Yeah. Emu will be losing her money train. She's probably already lost it. Did you see? I read it and was just like, ooh, well, she overstepped the boundaries, but, only her children can put her in her place. Lydia, really, Black Queen, I missed it. Good for Shan. Yeah. I'm happy for her. I love it for her. She deserves it. Many of them have been getting sick that have come against Meghan. I'm just saying, you better leave her alone because her ancestors are not playing. Hey, LaShawn, how are you? Oh, Lord. Let's see. Oh, I'm way behind. Okay. Woo, they tried to spin it with the exotic DNA, straight out of Compton, or almost straight out of Compton, as they say. Yeah. They've been doing it from the beginning and la 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 la. Trish, has anyone done an investigation on the alleged heart attack now? But he was seen in a McDonald's takeout line, drive through, like on the way from the hospital, I believe, allegedly. So if you saw the docuseries and know that his phone, someone else was responding to the text messages from Meghan, creepy. So I don't believe anything that was stated by that parental unit. None whatsoever. But yeah. Church Nelly, who the F is cosplay to demand the flower girl dresses be remade? Well, she's now the Princess of Wales. And how many? I just want to say, put a 2 in the chat. When you hear the title Princess of Wales, do you think of Diana immediately? Just put a 2 in the chat. Because I immediately, that will always be Diana's title. Hence why I'm glad the consort did not go by that title officially, although being that she's married to who she's married to, she was styled that title. But she even had common sense not to. But Eager and Eager Beaver were so quick to get those titles and to go by the title. I always said cosplay should not go by that title because truly only one person will forever be the Princess of Wales. And she worked and she has a legacy. And I'll leave that alone. Okay. Let me see. I'm jumping into comments, just getting a little closer. Let me see. Catherine, those snobs want American money, but to talk about American like dirt, stay mad. We beat you with the help of our close allies, France. I tell you. Hey, Thrive with Stride, how are you? They all admire Meghan. Yeah, they wish they could be her. I mean, truly. Let me just look at this. And it's funny that this, where's the picture? This little girl, when she's like, I was the geek. Like she was not, as she said, I wasn't the pretty one. I was the geek. Oh, how they wish she was looking like, you know. Mm-hmm. And without makeup, she looks younger. Go figure. We know black, no crack. Okay. Let me get back over here. Sylvia, screw them if they don't care for Harry and Meghan. NBC is not the only game in town. No, there's CBS, there's ABC, there's CNN. There's other places that did reach out. They should have known and done their homework that he knows who says what about him and or his wife. Plus, they have security details that are listening to the chatter to keep track of anything that needs to be escalated to higher authorities. Yes. Black Queen, a guy on Dish Nation said this about the British haters. How are you going to have brown teeth and have an attitude? Exactly. Because some of the pictures they show, woo, my goodness, maybe that upsets them too. Ciao, how are you? At the firm don't have the money for the upkeep for Meghan. She was to get a job. Yes, that's the biggest one. I hope that's touched on a little more so that we have a little bit more insight on that. But yeah, you sit on top of the food chain, you get millions, hundreds of millions of dollars a year for expenditures and living expenses, etc. But yet, one new person joins the family and you can't take care of her. You weren't really taking care of Harry, if let's be honest. We've seen the pictures in docuseries, not caught. And as what did they say, Oprah? No one's gonna believe this. And we truly didn't. But I love seeing that because yeah, all the gold digger comments and or saying she's a grifter. Yeah, no. That was the other one. Woo. Valerie, Eddie didn't get that dukedom. Eddie wasn't smart enough to get it in writing. Most of us know as adults that no matter what people say and promise, they can say it all they want to say, but until it's in writing, you don't have a leg to stand on. He has two right now. And that's it. Ooh, y'all are getting into, but I don't feel bad for him nor his wife that they didn't get the Duke and Duchess. A title that allegedly had been promised decades ago. Like when your dad dies, this is going to be yours. Now, you should have styled them that before you took off and transitioned. But you weren't really in charge to do that type of thing. So King C3 is sucking up all the titles that belong to the, his level, I guess. And he ain't letting none of them go. Well, maybe he will at the coronation because you can take the titles that Harry and Meghan wanted to give back, but you didn't want to do that because then you had nothing, the press would have had nothing to lie about. Sylvia, I miss you, Tina and Michelle, because everything you said is true. Yes. Now, if you all would come together and virtually put your hands together and send out that energy that we see a notification come through for a podcast tomorrow from them, please. Okay. Those of you that know. Okay. Let me go ahead because yeah, I do need to get the moving. Oh, look at it. See. All the twos are popping in. There you go. Oh, Sam, thank you for the thumbs up. Hey, Vinny, how are you? Hey, Kat. Church Nelly has to be over the top. Oh, Connie, you're still here. Okay. So yes, that was her mistake of many, but that was her mistake of taking that title because yeah, it's not ever. Mm-hmm. That's what she is. She's a consort. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Elaine, do children attend coronations? Didn't Charles attend his mom's? Okay. There will only, yes, be one Princess of Wales. Hey, one busy mama, how are you? Yes, look at all the twos. All right. Jeannie's like two. Love it. Yes. Diana's ghost is haunting Charles and consort. That's why he gave the name away. Well, it's always going to be when he looks at his sons. Oh, and speaking of looking at his sons, there's allegedly an excerpt that was released that said about William doesn't look like Diana anymore, something that Harry said to that effect. I can't wait to read it. How I take it, because many were saying about his looks, physical. No, I believe what he meant is in his works. Diana was out there among the people, engaging with them, giving them that time, touching them even when it was, shied away, especially during the beginning of the AIDS epidemic. That's what I believe he means. I can't wait to see the book because I don't think it's the outer, but it's the inner person that would then reflect in the works that you do that show that you are your mother's son. Because we can look at what Harry does and see Diana all over it. Okay. Nash, thank you very much. I don't know if I had any others. Oh, Connie, thank you. All right. I'm going to play this for both of you, and then I need to skedaddle because I have some work to do at my mom's house. For those that know what's going on, I am now beginning to clean out my mom's home, and I need to get up there, and it's an hour drive. So anyway, here we go. Thank you for the super stickers, Nash and Connie. You're making it rain, 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 rain down on me. Thank you. Thank you both. I hope I didn't miss any others. Those were the last two that I saw. And because I'm going on and on and on, I did. If I don't have my eye on the chat, I will miss the little notification that pops up at the top. But I think I got everything. All right, so, whew, boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a week this is going to be. So remember, you have 60 Minutes interview tomorrow, ITV interview tomorrow, Good Morning America on Monday. And then Tuesday night will be Stephen Colbert. And then we'll just have to hold on to our hats to hear what else might be coming down the pike. But Tuesday we'll have the book in our hand. Hopefully on Thursday, for Twisted Thursday, we'll be able to talk about it, a little bit, something, however many chapters we get through in that time. Oh, but next Saturday, we are going to be nothing but despair. Okay, just giving you that hint. So if you don't like, listen, y'all have survived the leaks over today, so spoilers shouldn't be a problem. But anyway, love you all for joining. Thank you so much for the engagement. Hopefully you have given a thumbs up. Thank you for the time hanging out, me babbling a lot. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share. Make sure you spread the word. I am working towards getting to the 10K mark. You know what I mean? I'm trying to catch up to Baron and them, and the Duchess of Success. I love them both. I'm trying to catch up to them. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm like the little engine that could. Anyway, let me mosey on about. Take care, everybody. Love you all. Be safe. Wear your mask. Bye.